بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء نحوا سنقرئك فلا تنسى.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. Inshallah, we are going to take MINHAAJ SALIHEEN, Ayatollah al-Udma Sayyid Ali Sistani. MINHAAJ SALIHEEN is the Bible of law. I call it Bible of law because it's the vast book of law in this era. Ayatollah al-Khoi had two volumes, volume for worships and volume for trades and transactions. Ayatollah Sistani merged the two tawzeehs. This is an Arabic tawzeeh book, but it's very expanded. So there were two volumes in Iran of Sayyid Abul Hasan Isfahani and two volumes of Sayyid Muhsin Hakim al-Tabatabai. So Ayatollah Sistani took the volume of Minhaj al-Salihin, which Sayyid al-Khoi also had commented on it. So he kept embedded his fatwas in Minhaj al-Salihin. And what happened later on, he took the Wasilatul Najat of Sayyid Abul Hasan Isfahani, and then he merged the part two of it. So it became three parts of laws. So this is the book of law of Ayatollah al-Udma Sayyid Ali Sistani Damadullah. So we are taking a fiqh of fasting, rules of fasting. So inshallah, every day we'll try to have half an hour and try to see and understand the laws. And the other half an hour, if you have any questions, inshallah, we'll try to address those questions. So let's take, and the way we do is like we go take rule by rule. We start is with the intention. So it is lesson 1, basically, and it is rules of, sorry, that was old version. So it is lesson 1, and this is the first section, the intention. Now, let me tell you one thing about the intention. The intention is core of everything. And we have this, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. The deeds are based on niyyat. Foundation is niyyat. Now, this has two interpretations. One is like either the deed is based on niyyat. Without niyyat, your deed is not there. Okay, so if you do pray and your niyyat is not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that is a problem. There's a problematic issue. So innamal a'malu binniyat, number 1 means that you have to make a sincere intention for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's number 1. Number 2 is if you make an intention of doing good deeds, this is on the level of recommendations. Then you get the reward. And if you practice it, you get 10 times. But if you show off, everything goes away. So it's like you make your intention for good deeds, you will get the reward. Then you practice what you have intended. You apply, you do it. Then you get 10 times. Then you show off, everything collapses. So we need to make sure that we just do it and forget it. As they say, do the good deeds and throw it in the sea or ocean, or just don't remember it, that you have done some good deed. So this is what we are trying to see, that intention. So now one of the things is that in fasting, the fascinating thing is that nobody can know that you are fasting or not fasting. In the whole month of Ramadan, most of the people, they fast. So it's obvious. But even there are people, they don't fast, they might be acting. You don't know. You might think, oh, mashallah, Roja Raikya says Rosa Raikya is fasting. But he must be eating, he must be emptying his fridge in the house. You don't, but you will give benefit of doubt. You will not be judgmental, okay? However, I'm not going to reward him, or I'm not going to punish him. So that's why in Hadith al-Quds it says, as-sawmu li wa ana ujzi bihi. Fasting is for me and I reward. Because you guys cannot know, because fasting is a passive worship. Worships are two types. Active, you do something, so people they see. Passive, you don't do anything, so there's nothing. What would people see? Your face, like you're acting? No. So therefore, the fasting basically is a passive worship. No one on the earth can know if you don't tell them you are fasting or not. So that's why Allah says, "As-sawmu, I know who is fasting and who is not fasting." And even if you tell people you are fasting, I know whether there is riyah in it, show off, or no, it is sincere fasting. So this is basically the rule, or the intention, intention of fasting. So fasting is purely intentional based ibadah, because there's nothing to do. There's something not to do, that don't do, don't eat, don't do this, don't do that, avoid, avoid, avoid. So there's a lot not to do. There's nothing to do. There's a lot not to do. The obligation is passive. So that's why the intention is something which builds up the whole fast. Now, for example, people they fast the time of Maghrib. People, oh, roza makruh the jase, roza will roza haram the jase, roza will become haram. Break your fast. You cannot even if eat date and then offer your Maghrib and Isha prayer. So there are people that they're ready to give fatwas. They shoot out fatwas free of charge. If it's free of charge, why not? Anyhow, so people they have this, they give fatwa. First of all, our Aimmas, they used to offer their salat and they used to break their fast. You offered your salat al-fajr with the intention of fasting. You offer your salat al-dhuhrain and you are fasting. Why should you kick the Maghrib and Isha out of your fasting? But the fasting will become makruh. No, fasting will not become makruh. You will have the reward of an abstaining person, of a fasting person, but your fast breaks down. What was your intention? Dawn to dusk. So once the sun sets, automatically you are done. There's no niyyah. The niyyah was until sunset. The intention was until sunset. So there is nothing after sunset. So there's no niyyah. So there's no fasting. So don't worry about makruh. It will become makruh. It will become haram. This is just like a traditional thing. Yes, there is a fasting which is haram. If you make an intention to connect one day's fast with another day's fast, which is called Sawm al-Wusal. That was the fasting of Prophet Dawood alayhi salam. He would not eat sahri, he would not eat iftar, day by day connection. That is not permissible for Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So nobody is doing that. Nobody is making intention ke kal sudi rozo rakis, then I will do it until tomorrow. Nobody does like that. Everybody makes an intention of fasting. That means I will break my fast on sunset. That is the niyat of fasting. So just pray and then break fast. Unless if sambusa and pakoda and bhajia and they are floating in your mind, Allahu Akbar, sambusa akbar, bhajia akbar, jalebi akbar, sharbat akbar, ruh afzan and this and that. Then just break your fast and then pray, rather than you're praying with these kind of recipes in your mind. It's better to just pray and then do whatever they eat and then you just pray. But if you can hold yourself and those floating bhajiyas are like on a side, you see, it's then just offer your salah. Make it short salah, but offer it while in the state of abstinence. So this is something. So fast is purely and corely intentional based ibadat. So intention is a very important issue in fasting. Recommended fasting. No one will know that you are fasting, okay, in recommended fasting, because it's not an active worship, it's a passive worship. It's not to do a thing. So like unless if you said that no, I am fasting. Otherwise, no one will know. So let's take the ruling number 970. That's the first ruling in MINHAAJ SALIHEEN in the chapter of fasting. Okay, so here we have يعتبر في الصوم الذي هو من العبادات الشرعية العزم على نحو ينطبق عليه عنوان الطاعة والخضوع لله تعالى. I've been requested to read the Arabic text so that the Hausa students, they learn some Arabic terminologies as well. So when I'm reading Arabic, I'm going to explain it in English and you can follow with me on the English section. So it is required, it is important, it is wajib in the fasting, that which is a religious worship, that you make an intention in a way that the title of obedience and submission to Allah is applied upon. That is what Arabic said. Okay. So now, okay. So now this is what this says. Now, ibadah shar'iyya. So there are two types of actions we do. One is called ibadah ta'abbudi, one is called tawassuli. Ta'abbudi means you have to make the intention of qurbatan lillahi ta'ala. If you don't do, it is invalid. Fasting, you need to say, I'm doing this, achieve it to achieve the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm offering salah to achieve the nearness to Allah. I'm offering khums to achieve nearness of Allah. I'm offering zakat al-fitra to achieve the nearness to Allah. So all this nearness to Allah, nearness to Allah, nearness to Allah, these are very important things in the fasting or in the salat. But then there is this tawassuli. In tawassuli, the aim is important. The aim. If you don't say qurbatan lillahi ta'ala to achieve the nearness to Allah subhanahu, doesn't matter. Like what? Like purification. Like you are purifying, there's a spot of blood, you are purifying it. You don't have to say, I'm purifying this to achieve the nearness of Allah. If you say it, you'll get reward. Because everything you do for the sake of Allah in every second of your life, you'll be rewarded. Like, because our life should be focused on being close in the proximity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having the proximity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam says, Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alamin. Everything I do, Ya Allah, my salat, my rituals, my life, my death, everything is for you. And he proved it. He was going to slaughter Ismail alayhi salatu wasalam. So everything is for you, Ya Allah. Okay. So here comes the intention. So there are things you don't need to have the intention of qurbatan lillahi ta'ala. However, if you have it, you do it for the sake of Allah, you get rewarded, but you don't have to. But things like salat and zakat, those furu'ideen kind of, most of the furu'ideen in hajj, in zakat, in khums, in salat, in all these, the wajib thing is to say, I'm doing this for the sake of Allah. You don't have to say, the intention is in the heart. Why are you doing it? Just because Allah has commanded me. Why are you fulfilling the command? To get the proximity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be close to Allah. That's enough. That is enough. You don't have to say the lifestyle, your biography. I am doing this 4 rakat and I'm going to mention this and that and this and that. You don't have to mention your life story or biography. Just what are you doing and why are you doing? That's intention inside your heart, inside your brain. In Hajj, it is mustahab to say these intentions, but not wajib. Okay, so the basic thing is that the intention is in the heart. Now, intention to fast before the holy month of Ramadan, 2-3 months, or maybe for next year. From now, we say, inshallah, if Allah keeps us alive, we'll fast the holy month. Finish. Next year's intention is there. So when is the intention is not there? That is a complicated thing. When you are planning to travel, that means you have broken your intention. You see, when you plan to travel, that means you have broken your intention. That means you are not going to fast. But if you are planning to, if you are planning to stay in your hometown and you are healthy and you have this, that inshallah we are going to fast next year, the year after, as long as Allah gives me life and I'm not traveling and I'm not sick, I'm going to fast. That's it. You made it. You have it in your heart, this thing. And that is intention. Why would you fast these coming years? To achieve the nearness to Allah, because it's wajib. That's it. So that's what Sayyidi Sistani says, that it is not, these specifics are not necessary. Just to avoid, just in a way that the application, because there's no action here. It's passive. There's there's no action. There's nothing to do here. So it is required in the intention. يعتبر في النية. It is required in the intention. What is The al-azm ala nahu, you want to do it. You have an intention to do it in a way that you are doing it for the sake of Allah. That's it. Not to show off, not for any other purpose. No, just for Allah you are doing it. That's enough. وَيَكْفِي كَوْنُ الْعَزْمِ عَنْ دَاعٍ إِلَهِينَ. And it is sufficient to show that it is by the for the command of Allah, that it stays inside the nafs, even by an embedded intention. So the whole time is there. What does that mean? So there's a practical issue. When you say, I'm going to drink. No, I'm not going to drink. You finish, you broke your intention. Kiss your fast goodbye. You broke your intention. Okay? You broke your intention. I'm going to eat this. You broke your intention. Finish. Okay. So obviously, if you joke, I'm going to drink, that doesn't, because you have your intention is there. You are just obviously joking with somebody. But if you seriously make an intention, I'm going to just drink. Oh no, I'm not going to drink. You are aware, intentionally, deliberately, I'm going to drink. I know I'm fasting, but I just want to stop fasting. Finish. Now you have to do qadha, because you broke your intention. The intention broke. So before you make those kind of hesitations, just think thousand that are you really sick? Are you really in a way that you want to break your fast? So now what happens if somebody breaks his intention? So there is a qadha. There is a qadha if somebody breaks intention. So khalas, should we biryani ni plate ne murgi na masala lao? No, no, you can't. You have to hold yourself until the end of the day. Otherwise there will be a kafara, penalty. Here, you broke your intention, you broke your fast. But you have to complete the remaining day and do qadha. Because finish. Fast, as I said, fast is corely based on intention, intentional based ibadat. There's nothing to do in it. The intention is the main thing here. That keep the intention intact. However, if accidentally, unknowingly, unintentionally, if you came into the fridge and you finished the whole fridge, and then you give a nice, gigantic, juicy Dakar, like something like that. Oh my goodness, I was fasting today. What happened? It's okay. Enjoy it. As long as you had forgotten, don't worry about it. Continue. You are still fasting. But all this, the fridge got empty. That's fine. You are fasting. In some of the hadith, Imam Sadiq says that enjoy it. It's a gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you. People say, we wish Allah gives us gift, especially when there are long, long days of holy month of Ramadan. Here, that gift does not happen. When there are short days, gift of Allah happens. So anyhow, so basically what we are trying to see here is that we have to keep the intention intact from dawn to dusk. Don't hesitate. Don't think of, unless if you are sick, God forbid, and you are planning to take your medicine, then that is something else. Then you change your mind, then obviously you had an excuse, and then you can continue. You said, no, okay, let me continue my fasting. Because that breaking your fast was going to be due to the cause of sickness, not just any other cause. So because a sick person is exempt from fasting. So, but then you decided to continue. Some fuqahas might say it's recommended precaution to do qadha on that also because you broke your intention. Some fuqaha might say before Dhuhr, after Dhuhr, but Ayatollah Sistani doesn't have that issue. But Ayatollah Sistani in general speaks that if you break your intention, you break your fast. If you hesitate intentionally, if you hesitate in your intention, you break your fast. So all these kind of things are necessary to understand. So he says here that من العبادات الشرعية العزم على نحو ينطبق عليه. You make your intention in a way that the title of ibadat, the title of obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is applicable on you. ويكفي كون العزم عن داع إلهي وبقاء في النفس. And it is sufficient that this motive is because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command, and that motive is inside. That intention is inside your heart. You don't have to say, like somebody says, okay, catch my tasbih, where is my tasbih? Okay. He says, okay, you said continuously. I mean, this guy, Allahumma, I'm fasting, Allahumma, I'm fasting. So what are you doing? So we heard the Maulana today said that the intention needs to be continued, and not like that. Not like that. The intention in the heart, that's it. You see, be aware that you're fasting. That's intention. You don't have to say anything continuously. Embedded intention. Ayatollah Sistan says, an-niyyah irtikazi. It's inside yourself that you are in the state of fasting. That's enough. Okay, if somebody asks you, what are you doing today? I'm fasting. Are you fasting today? Yes, I'm fasting. That's it. That means you are aware that you are fasting. You don't have to do the tasbih of fasting the whole time from dawn till dusk. And he says, that's it. ولا يعتبر ضم الإخطار إليه بمعنى اعتبار كون الإمساك لله تعالى وإن كان ضمه أولى. And do I need to say I'm doing imsak, I'm abstaining from these things, or I'm abstaining from the invalidators for the sake of Allah? You don't have to say. Just the state of fast, the image of fast is inside your heart, that I'm abstaining for the sake of Allah. Even that, he says, even you don't have to mention, you don't have to bring the picture. Ikhtar means bringing the image of something in the mind. So you don't have to bring that in the mind or in the self that you are doing it for, you're abstaining from the invalidators for the sake of Allah. He says it's better to do it, okay? Having it continuously embedded the whole time in oneself. And it is not necessary to present it in the mind or having the detailed meaning of the fast or the invalidators, as inshallah in the next slide. Okay, now there is this sleeping person. So this guy, he eats a sehri, and I don't know what did he eat, like pilau, khilao, biryani, machboos, that heavy in the butter and all those kind of things, rice, immediately like knocked down, finish. And when did he wake up? In the time of suhoor, in the time of iftar, sorry. The adhan, where am I? Like, so he slept the whole day, and not to mention the Salatul Dhuhrain, which he made qada. Anyhow, so what happens if somebody sleeps the whole time? So he said it is not also, before sleeping mas'ala, sleeping is the second bullet, so a continuation. So it is not also required to relate the avoidance of invalidators due to the mentioned intention of fasting. I'm staying away from food, I'm staying away from water, you don't need to mention all these things. You see, you don't need to say that I am staying away from water because I'm fasting. No, because he says it is also sufficient that maybe you don't want to drink water because you're not thirsty. Maybe you don't want to eat because you're not hungry. Maybe you don't want to do the invalidators because you're not in the mood. Or maybe you are sick, or maybe you don't have ability to do so. Okay? You don't have ability to do so. Like for example, anemia or what they say, lying, or for example, let's say eat food and drink. Let's say this person is like having a kind of bad taste. He doesn't want to eat and drink. So he's already abstaining from the food. And so should we say this, my abstinence is for fasting? No, you don't have to say, because you already don't want to eat. So you don't have to make a new intention that I'm going to stay away from, because you can't. It doesn't make any sense. You see, فَلَا يَضُرُّ بِوُقُوعِ الصَّوْمِ. Fasting will be valid even if you were not in a mood to eat, even if you did not have any desire to eat or drink or have private relations with your family. Let's say there are people, they're very old. You see, they don't have desire to have those private relations. They're very old and they like to fast. So they don't have this mood. So they don't have to say we are avoiding the private relation, spousal relation for the fasting. But you can't. You don't have the ability. So that doesn't affect. So you don't have to say those things. You don't have to say, because many of these things, you might not be in the mood of eating. You might not be in the mood of drinking. But that state of fasting is very important, that I'm in a state, in a spiritual state, okay, where things are supposed to be avoided for the sake of Allah. You don't have to mention, you don't have to make an intention. No, I need to make myself in a way that I would love to drink, but I would stay away from drink for the sake of Allah. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do all this drama to prove that, oh Allah, I'm fasting because I made myself that I have this lust to do this, to drink this, to eat this, but I'm not doing it for your sake. So he says that even if your nafs did not desire these things, that's fine. Your fasting is there, because fasting doesn't depend on your desire or your lack of desire or your ability or inability. Fasting is not depending on that. Fasting is depending on the general state of fasting, that you are in a state of fasting, special spiritual state. Why? For the sake of Allah. You are fulfilling the command of Allah. This is enough. All these kind of things to make sure that I really want to do this and I'm staying away from fasting, that's not needed. كما لا يعتبر كون الصوم في جميع الوقت بل في شيء في شيء منه في حالة يمكن توجه التكليف إليه. It is not also required that you are in a state of awareness where the obligation falls upon you. You don't have to be in that state. في جميع الوقت, in all the time, or a part of the time. Now we take that example of that guy who was like who kind of like ate like a heavy bhajiyas and heavy biryanis and all that, and just knocked down from the sahri till the iftar, and now he wakes up. So did he fast or not? All the time he was snoring, karata and all those kind of things. So did he fast or not? So Ayatollah Sistani says yes, he fasted. It is not necessary for him to be in a state of awareness the entire time or even partially, okay? You don't have to be. You don't have to wake up like 3-4 minutes fasting and go back. You don't have to do that. You don't have to wake up entire or partially, or what you can be in a state of unawareness. But the unawareness are 3 types. One is sleeping, one is insanity, losing the mind, or dementia or something like that, or intoxication, or going to unconscious, like hospital surgery and these kind of things. First of all, the person who's in surgery, I don't know whether he would love to fast or not, because he is in a state, a totally different state, but maybe he's a super spiritual guy. We can't say anything. He wants to fast, so what can we do? So then this rule might apply. So he says it is not necessary for a person who's fasting that in entire time or part of the time he needs to be in an awareness, in a state of awareness, in a way that the responsibility is directed towards him. Therefore, it does not affect the entire sleeping, the entire sleeping time. That he sleeps the entire daytime from the dusk till the Maghrib. His fast is okay, but he will be grilled for the not praying the Salat al-Dhuhrain. But he was sleeping. But so those people who did not wake him up might be grilled. Might be. I'm not saying anything here. So النوم المستوعب لجميع الوقت, entire time was sleeping. ولو لم يكن باختيار, even if it was not. His mother has passion. Sweden, Malamba, Lambarosa say long fasting in Sweden. So what can we do? So she kept sleeping pills inside her sahri. Passion of mother, you can't underestimate. So this guy took suhoor and knocked down all the time. So either it was intentionally or unintentional, or he doesn't want to stay away the whole day, and he kept the pill. So it was by himself. So وَلَوْ لَمْ يَكُنْ بِاخْتِيَارٍ مِنْهُ, even if it was not by his choice. So regardless, by his choice or not by his choice, entirely, partially, regardless of being totally or partially, it doesn't matter, as long as you had this kind of direction, you see, of fasting in the holy month of Ramadan. So niyat is there. Niyat is there since 2-3 years, as I mentioned. So niyat of fasting the holy month of Ramadan, a mu'min has already this niyat embedded in his heart, that he doesn't want to miss any year of the holy month of Ramadan. And that's the beauty of the intention of mu'min. Last slide, and we'll continue tomorrow because our time is done. Maybe your Sahri time and Dhaka time is there or whatsoever. So that was sleeping. Now we have the rule of the insane person or dementia, or somebody who has lost his conscience, or intoxicated, drank alcohol. This crazy guy, I mean, drinking alcohol in the holy month of Ramadan. Anyhow, or somebody might have given him, pranked on him, crazy pranks. You know, nowadays the world is filled with crazy people, you see. So, so he said that we can't apply the rule of sleeping on these categories. It is problematic. Whenever Ayatollah Sistani says problematic, that means it's ihtiyat wajib. That means you have to see another marja or do the precautionary, take the precautionary measures. Okay. So he said it is ishkal. We can't say that their roza is okay, their fasting is okay because they were intoxicated the whole time, or they were unconscious whole time, or they were crazy whole time. Like Sahri happened, he ate something and I don't know what, he became crazy, lost his mind, insane. And then when adhan of Maghrib happened, and he gained his craziness or insanity left. So what will we do? Like, this guy was the whole day insane. So so adhan al-fajr till adhan al-maghrib. So this adhan al-fajr made him crazy because he, oh, long fast, what will I do? What will I do? He became crazy out of this paranoia. So once he heard the adhan of maghrib, somehow spiritual thing came and he gained his consciousness. He said no. So this he divides into two categories. Focus with me. Insane person, and the one who has lost consciousness without his choice, involuntarily. Okay. So if involuntarily he lost his conscience, number one, involuntarily he lost his conscience, or he was insane person. In this case, he says that if there was, the niyat was made, he made his intention, he had this intention in his heart, then he woke up during the daytime, he regained his consciousness during the daytime, or he was or he became okay like Dhuhr time, and he insanity left his mind. So we will tell him that, see, you are going to complete this day, that's it. But if you don't complete, then do qadha. So option, complete the day. If you don't complete, do qadha, that's it. This is for a person who lost his mind, craziness, or somebody who was without his choice, unconscious. Somebody jabbed him with an injection or something, or he smelled something, or no, out of shock, okay, out of some kind of, not in his option. He was not in his choice, okay, he was involuntarily. So Ayatollah Sistani says, do qadha, continue fast, it's okay. Or if you don't do, then you do qadha. However, the intoxicated person, or somebody who voluntarily injected himself or did something to lose his consciousness, then this person needs to do both. Complete the day, if their intention was, if there was a previous intention made, complete the day, and then what did I say? Complete the day plus do the qadha later on. And then this one is our last. Yeah, this is easy mas'ala. It is not obligatory to make the intention of wajib and mustahab and ada and qadha. That you are doing instant wajib, you are doing makeup. All these are not necessary with descriptions of the command or the commanded act. You don't need to go into those details. Why? As long as one type of fast is on your shoulder. This is very important. We are going to mention in our next session. Every day, inshallah, this time we will have a half an hour masail session of rulings of fasting, inshallah, if you're interested. As I said, I have to record it anyways for the hawza. So basically, if you have focus with this key concept is explanation for this mas'ala. If you have one type of fasting on your shoulder, you don't need to mention any details in it. You don't need to mention. I'm just fasting, or not say inside your heart, I'm fasting for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because I'm required to. Finish. No need to say qadha, kafara, because if only qadha was on your shoulder, then it will be taken qadha. You don't have to mention details. Qadha of this month, qadha of that month. Even you had qadha of multiple years. Just say, I'm doing this, intention is qadha, that's it. So, because it is, the sequence is gone. You have a multiple days of qadha in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like 3 years from this, 3 days from this year, 3 days from last year, 3 days or year after. So it has all been jumbled into 30 days. So now you are just going to make intention. I'm making up this. Even you don't have to say that. That's it. Whatever is on my shoulder, I'm doing it. And what's in your shoulder is one type of fast. So when there's one type of fast, you don't need to mention details of the fast, type of the fast in the intention. It's just, I'm fasting, qurbatullah ta'ala, obligation on me. The other type, when you have multiple types of fasting on your shoulder, there you have to describe. There you have to distinguish, specify. So that is very important for to specify the fasting where there is distinguished. Now my teacher always used to say, "La yaqa'u fi shahri Ramadan sawmu ghayrih." In the holy month of Ramadan, only the holy month of Ramadan is fast is done there. And I still remember, rahmatullahi, he died, may Allah rest his soul in peace, long time ago. But I still remember his word. Whenever he would explain the detailed laws, more detail than this, then la yaqa'u fi shahri Ramadan sawmu ghayrih. What does that mean? That means in the holy month of Ramadan, you don't need to mention I'm fasting the fast of the holy month of Ramadan or any other fast. Because in the holy month of Ramadan, the only fast which is correct and valid and accepted is the fast of holy month. If you fast qadha, it will not be valid. If you fast kafara, not valid. If you fast, the only fast which is valid in the holy month of Ramadan is the fast of the holy month of Ramadan. Therefore, you don't need to specify this specification. So let's read this and finish it off. So يجب لا يجب قصد الوجوب. It is not necessary. It's not wajib to make the intention of wajib or recommended or ada onset ibadat or any other qadha, any other type of description, kafara, nadhar, manta, whatsoever description of the command and the commanded act. نعم. However, إذا كان النوع المأمور به قصديا, that if the commanded act, fasting here, you had to specify in your intention. Why? Because there are several types on my shoulder, like al-qadha, such as qadha, wal-kaffara. So I have qadha on my shoulder, I have a penalty, as it's going to be mentioned later on. Lazima qasduhu, then it is necessary to distinguish in your heart that, Ya Allah, this is my qadha, Ya Allah, this kafara. But which kafara, this year's kafara, previous year's kafara, this year's qadha, that is not needed. ولكن يكفي في القصد الإجمالي. A lump sum general intention is sufficient. إلى المأمور به, on the about the commanded act. بالأمر الفعلي مع وحدة ما في الذمة. With the actual command, responsibility on my shoulder, if the command was unified. Like I have so many qadhas, okay? So I don't need to specify this year's qadha, that year's qadha. In general, I'm doing my qadha because it's one. It's a united act, one type of act, qadha, unified act. This is qadha, that is qadha, that is qadha. So just I'm doing the qadha. So, وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. صلي على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على
Allahumma salli